Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Lessons Learned, the dumbest thing I've ever done with money. My name is Suzanne, and I am the head coach at G.R.A.C.E Financial Coaching, and I am very excited to welcome Kelli Lytle today. Kelli is the owner and founder of Lytle Financial Coaching. After completing Financial Coach Master's training several years ago, Kelli started her coaching practice. Her focus is on changing people's behavior with money so they can move forward from where they are now to where they want to be financially. Kelli lives in Texas and is married with 3 beautiful little kids I know personally. Good morning, Kelli. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well.
Good.
Spring break here, so it's different.
Right. Busy. It should feel calmer, but it's probably busier inside
No,
the
it
house.
feels chaotic a lot. It's like, go outside. Y'all just go outside.
I love it. So tell us about your coaching practice and how you help your clients move forward, financially speaking.
Yeah, so a lot of what I do work with 3 different women's homes, transitional homes, and so I help women who are transitioning either from jail into their new life, and or they're coming from an abusive situation and they're also looking for a transition safe place to go. And so I coach at 3 different homes, and I help these women learn how to budget their money, learn what it looks like to spend properly on things, to save, to prepare for the future, and things of that nature. And so a lot of times, some of these women can sometimes have a history of abuse themselves, like with substances. And so one of the big components there is that if they understand where their money's coming from, where it's going, how to utilize their money in the best, most efficient way, then they won't have the need to run in and go find, make money quickly, and illegally most of the time. And so it's such a unique thing. It's such a unique platform that I have to be able to care and shepherd these women, to point them to the Lord, but also teach them, hey, here's how to be a good steward of the money that God's provided you. And this is how your life can be different moving forward. It doesn't have to be what it was. It can be something different moving forward. And so I do have private clients as well that I work with, one-on-one coaching. But a lot of my time is spent with these 3 different women's homes. In total, we're talking about 30 women or so that I get to coach and care for, and then they transition out, and then we have new ones coming in. So it's pretty neat that I've been able to have the opportunity to have a touch point on so many lives as a result of this particular sector of my business.
And particularly with women, I've been a member of different churches, and 2 of them specifically in different states had programs that minister to men and women who are actually still incarcerated. Mm-hmm. So they would go to the prisons, go to the jails. And I always thought that was such an important ministry, and it's important while they're in there, and it's important while they're transitioning out. Particularly with women, though, what do you see effects on their what kind of effects do you see on their family members? So they've already either gone through, they've left an abusive situation. They've left a prison because they were incarcerated due to, selling or drugs or whatever it was. What kind of impact do you see when you coach these women on their finances, and how does it extend to the people that they love?
Yeah. So what you're going to often find is there's a lot of mistrust that has happened. Abuse of kindness that has happened. A family member who really wants to help, they have a really genuine heart to want to do that. They have done the right thing, but the woman that I am caring for and coaching has abused their kindness. And so a lot of what we work through too, there's also counselors on hand at these facilities, licensed counselors who are also helping the women begin to navigate relationships again as well. But even within money, you have boundary issues and things of that nature. And so even I can think of one example right away is this young lady, her mom had always paid for all the things. You kind of had an overprotected mom. And so when she entered into the program and she started making money herself and she could start paying off her own probation without her mom doing it for her, that was very freeing. And she actually had to tell her mom, stop making these payments. Like, I am doing this for myself, to stand on my own 2 feet and to prove that I can do this for myself. And so it was a challenging conversation because now you have a mom who's like, well, I've always been there for you. Like, what? Now you're going to tell me like, do not help. And it's just it can be a weird, challenging dynamic where someone's finally saying like, stop, please stop helping me. You are actually hurting me by what you're doing. So I see that a lot where family members want to step in and help financially, but really the best thing for these women is for them to stand on their own 2 feet. For them to, maybe it takes a little bit longer to pay off probation or parole or their old tickets or, whatever, their old electricity bill, whatever it might be. It might take them longer, but it's teaching them the discipline of one, working hard, knowing where their money is going and putting it there.
Right.
The freedom and the joy they experience by being able to take control of that themselves instead of leaning on their family it's just incredible.
Right. And I'm a big believer, just from having a handful of people I've met in my life and friends who went through the 12-step program, making those amends and making those, fulfilling those promises, whether it's a personal promise you made to a kid or a spouse or a parent, or fulfilling the promise of paying your electric bill. Yes. There is something freeing. There is something almost like it's a resolution, right? It's they've resolved that opening in their lives, and it's either been closed or the chapter's been finished, however you want to call it. But it is definitely a resolution and an ending to something that was still open and still maybe bothering them.
Yes. Yeah. It's interesting because as soon as the girls complete their first step, which is to get an emergency fund in place, once they have their emergency fund in place, the next step with me, it's going to be very different than my private clients. The next step with me within these homes is cleaning up the past. So they have a line item in their budget that says cup. It's cleaning up the past. And that is where we park for a while because typically, in general, most come in with stuff, people they owe money, family members, friends, and then also, yes, utility. It's often that they will leave old apartments and just leave them or, and not take care of business because a lot of them just weren't in their right mind. And now they are, and they want to take care of business. So I make a lot of phone calls with these girls to collection companies looking for settlements, just trying to clean up what they owe. I mean, I even have a girl that their debt was supposed to fall off. Her debt, according to her credit report, is supposed to fall off this year. And it's a large amount. We're talking over $2,000 for an old apartment complex. And she's like, I got to pay it. I'm like, you do. Like that is that is the right thing to do, is to take care of our old business. And so she called and they gave her like $700 off. And she was like, perfect. Well, I'll do it. I will get this money out the door for you. And you know what? That's actually happening this month. March 20th, she will have the full amount collected and she'll be sending that money order out the door. And that will be officially like off her back. And that's from an apartment from 6 years ago.
Right. A long time ago.
It's so cool. It's really, really fun.
It's awesome.
It's a different kind of coaching.
Our friend Laura, who's a financial coach, loves the CUP idea. Yeah, Laura, I think I may steal that as well too.
Yes. It works. It definitely works. And then it's fun when we clean up our past and that's done. Then we get to move on to the budget line that says future, and that's where we're just saving for their future as they transition from the home. And it's also very empowering too for them to have several thousands of dollars to launch them back into society with their family, with their kids. It's incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, that's awesome. Talk a little bit about your private clients, because obviously you coach one-on-one or two-on-one, meaning with couples. So how does that side of your business looks totally different?
Yes, it does. The majority of my clients at this point, I've been coaching now this is my 4th year. At this point in my coaching business, it is pretty much word of mouth, which is a great place to be. I don't do a ton of advertising, anything like that. People just find me because of their friends, cousin used me, or, whatever it might be. I have a lot of social media presence as far as in particular, Facebook groups. I'm very heavily involved in those within my community. And so that actually pulls a lot of random people in front of me to be able to help coach. But yeah, I mean, at any given time have anywhere from 15 to 30 private clients as well that I meet with one-on-one. And for them, honestly, my absolute favorite type of client is someone, if you're familiar with the baby steps, Dave Ramsey baby steps, it's baby step 1, 2, and 3. 3 is where, or 1, your emergency fund is completed. 2, pay off debt. 3, build a fully funded emergency fund. I love the clients who are in that like baby step 0, which is they're behind on payments. And then baby step 1 and 2. And so I do have clients that are further along down the path, but I just get so much life from helping people who are just in complete chaos, and being able to help them turn that ship the other direction to peace, to structure, to they know, and they know what to expect each month, instead of just total chaos all the time. And which also makes sense because I love working with the women's home, and there's a lot of chaos that kind of comes with that. But that is my favorite type of people to work with, because we typically see a very quick turnaround when they have their first budget and things like that. So again, I coach a wide variety of people. I got the sweet widow ladies that are in their 80s, and they just need help with, bare bones budgeting kind of thing. They have tons of money, and it's like, can I buy a new fence? Yes, you can buy a new fence. Like you have hundreds of thousands of dollars. Go buy the $10,000 fence. You're going to be okay. So I have those people that are like, just need a little bit of guidance and care and love. But I really attract the people that are like, we have no clue what we're doing. We are living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. Can someone please help? And I'm like, yes, I can. Me. Choose me.
And I can definitely agree that you are a very calming, grounding person. The other room could be on fire and you'll be like, well, this room's not on fire. So let's just move out of this room and we'll worry about the fire. So I totally believe that you are that presence for those people. Yes. But I also know that you have recently done something dumb with your own money. So tell us about that.
Okay, so is it the dumbest thing? I don't know, but it was still one of those moments of like, seriously, Kelly. So my family always puts out Christmas decorations in our front yard. And for the longest time, there's been this house down the way that has this beautiful nativity scene. I've wanted one. And so this year for Christmas, I didn't really know what I wanted for Christmas, and we're not really much on like surprising each other for Christmas presents. And so Christmas season passed. I still hadn't really decided what I wanted. And then I was on Facebook and I saw an ad for this beautiful nativity scene. And I thought, that's it. That's what I want. That's what I want for Christmas. Let's just buy that. It said 70% off. And I was like, I love a good deal, 70% off. I can't ignore that. And so I went in, and I saw it said large, it said small. I was like, well, obviously I want the large one. The videos and the photos, they looked beautiful. Okay. And you had like full grown women setting this thing up in their yard. So it's like high, it's big, right. And you have small children sitting in front of it for like fun little photo opportunities. And I thought, oh man, this is going to be perfect for our yard. So I go on, I ordered the large one, and it was like $53.
Wow, that is a deal.
Yes, exactly. I was like, this is great. But then the very next day, I see through my bank account that they had charged me an additional $14 on top of whatever my PayPal invoice had said. And I was like, well, that's weird. And so I decided to email the contact information that I had. And their response was initially in Chinese. And I was like, oh no, I've been scammed. Like, is this even coming? 1, they've already taken more of my money. And 2, their response to me is not in English. I have no clue what they just said to me. But I want my $14 back at a minimum. But finally, They did respond. I went through PayPal and I got English response. And they said, oh, yes, we're sorry. This was an extra tax added in error. And I was like, okay. But they refunded me
Okay.
Got $14 pretty quickly. And I was like, okay, we're good. But then like 3 days later, I get an email and it's like, your item is shipping from China. And I was like, oh my Lord, I didn't even pay attention.
Right.
Like, I just bought a nativity scene from over the seas.
Right. Right. And there's a difference between a company that utilizes manufacturing in China, but then brings the products to the US and then distributes it around. That's a big difference from us ordering direct from China. And a lot of people don't realize that.
Correct. And so I'm like, okay, it's coming from China. And so every 3 days, I would get a notification on my email. It's been sent to Spain. It's been sent to like here, and here. Finally, weeks later, it finally lands in the United States. And I'm like, okay, like maybe this thing's making it to me. This is great. I get a notification that it's here. And I'm like, okay. Yes. And I'm gone. I'm like out running errands, whatever. And I'm like, yes, can't wait. So I get home, I look on my front porch. And the way that my house is set up, I have some bushes and stuff. So I can't really quite see when I pull up. But I'm thinking like, I'm expecting a large box.
Yeah, a big box.
A large nativity scene. Wood, like real wood, nativity. Okay. And I don't see a box. And I'm like, oh no. Okay, maybe I really am being scammed. I don't know. And then I walked over to my door front and there's a box. And here's the box. This is the size of the nativity scene for my front yard that I bought. That's supposed to be large.
Right.
Here's the star. I mean, you can see that it's not large. It's rather small. And this is not wood. So I picked up the box and I was like, this is not heavy. I was fully expecting like, I'm going to wait for my husband to get home. He's going to have to bring the box in. It's going to be really heavy. No. Not only was it a miniature size box, but then this was the size and the type of wood. It's just, I mean, like this right here is even broken already.
Oh.
So here's my nativity scene. Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus. I mean, right?
It is a little baby Jesus, that is for sure.
The smallest thing ever. And so it's like, you're not going to be able to see this from our streets unless you have binoculars. And so I opened this and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is 100% not what I ordered. And even on the side of it, it says large. We have
what does the small look like?
Right, exactly. And so I emailed them, went through PayPal again.
Right.
And just said, hey, I am not satisfied. What do I do? You know, they're like, well, it's going to cost you a lot to ship it back. I'm like, I get that. I don't even know where to begin to ship this, but I don't want this. Like, can I get my money back? And they're like, we'll give you $7 back. No, $7 is not going to work. And then they came back and said, well, we'll give you $12. And I was like, no, okay, I'm going to take this up with PayPal. So I went through to PayPal, did a dispute. They still, I told them, I said, listen, I gave them authority to take money from my bank account. I am the person who ordered this thing. The problem is that the pictures and the videos did not advertise properly because there's not another extra large size, like large or small, and I ordered the large. And so PayPal had to contact them. They came back and offered me like $27 back out of the 50 something. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, I'll just take it at this point. I assumed that was kind of the end of the rope, you know, and I'm like, great. Yeah. $30 that I lost will be just stupid tax and we'll just move on. But PayPal actually came back and said, we awarded it in your favor and you got a full refund. So I did. Actually, this week, I got a full refund for this stupid nativity scene.
Oh, gosh.
So yeah, again, is it the dumbest thing I've ever done? I don't know. But I think more than anything for me, like what I learned from this process, one, I've got to pay attention to the fine print. Because it did say, and when I went back and looked at it some more, large and small, and then it gave the dimensions. Again, not in like an American way. Like it was one of those things where I had to be like, okay, I can go into Google and translate that. But I should have just paid attention more that the sizing was not actually what I was going to desire. And just the sheer fact that it was coming from overseas, I just didn't pay attention. And the second that I hit submit and my receipt was primarily in Chinese, I was like, oh no.
Oh no. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, what did I just do? But it's just funny. Like, and honestly, I'm probably gonna keep this bad boy and see if I can set it up inside my house somewhere, somehow, some way. Just as like a memory of like, this is literally what I bought one time. Like, look at this cute little sheet. Here's a sheet.
It's adorable. It's just 1/18 of the size that you needed. Yeah. Laura says it is large from a mouse's perspective.
Exactly. So anyways, I just wasted money, but thankfully I got it back. Now I get to take that $57. I don't know, buy something else for myself for Christmas. That was,
that was your Christmas gift, right? So I also think though that two things. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. $53 for something that you thought was 4 feet high was probably unreasonable. But this is also a really good lesson in all of the social media advertising. Because since Twitter has been purchased by Elon Musk, they have done a big push, and I know this was on Facebook, to drum up advertising because Twitter was insolvent prior to that. And so a lot of the ads that I see on Twitter are, you go in, you click on it, it's a little too good to be true, and sure enough, it's coming from China, which again is different than a US company manufacturing in China. They've manufactured in China, they've brought a crate over of stuff, and now they're going to send it to Kelly in Texas from Tennessee. That's different. But the social media advertising, I think, has really been ramped up in the last year. And I can't tell you how many times I've just been scrolling on Facebook or whatever. And when your thumb kind of misfires and you accidentally hit the ad and you're like, oh crap, I didn't want to hit that. I can't tell you how many I hit and it's opened up another screen in my internet browser. And I'm like, this isn't in English. The ad was in English, but the site is not in English. And it is some sort of Asian characters that I am not familiar with, probably Chinese. And it's not a viable product. My in-laws ordered, they have 2 indoor cats. They ordered a cat tower 2 years ago from China. They still haven't gotten it.
Yes. Yeah. I know. It's easy. It's easy to do these days. And not, the thing is too, is like the one time that you accidentally push that button, then they think that you're actually interested in that thing. And so now you get infiltrated. That's the wrong word. Infiltrated. There we go. With all these other ads similar to that. And it's still, a lot of it's just scammy. It's just, it's not really what you're wanting. And again, I'm a sucker for a good deal. And so that's, a part of this is me being more aware. And like, hey, again, too good to be true. Absolutely. I think the reason why that radar didn't go off is because it was like, well, it's a Christmas sale.
Right. It's so right after Christmas.
Maybe matched what I would suspect it would be. But I don't know. And I saw too, like after the fact, it's funny what you learn after the fact. But I noticed, like the advertisement, it said like 1 day left.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, well, then I got to get it. Well, then I went back like 2 weeks later. It still said 1 day left.
1 day left.
And I was like, yeah, these people, they're smart.
Well, I'm so glad that your dumbest mistake did not cost you any money in the long term, but now you have a little nativity scene. I mean, you could probably have the kids paint that or something and make a little project out of it.
That's not a bad idea. That's really not a bad idea. I might do that. And again, there's no instructions in here even on how to like put this thing together. So, who knows? I might just throw it in the dumpster eventually, but it's funny. It's comical. It's like, why did I do that?
I love it. Well, Kelly, you now have our blessing to go get yourself another Christmas gift, considering we're 4 months late now. So
I'll see what I can find.
Awesome. Kelly, thank you for sharing your story. I love the props. It's always a fun time. And I hope everyone will join us next week for another episode of Lessons Learned, the dumbest thing I've ever done with money. Thanks, Kelly.